Hello, everyone. My name is Ahmed, and this is Fans View TV. Joining me is Ifeanyi, a Manchester United fan. The game between Manchester United and Bournemouth is over, and Manchester United ended in a draw, 2-2 draw. What do you have to say about it?
Good evening. Okay, thank you for welcoming me to the program. Ah, Actually, this sums up our season as Manchester United because it was really a poor game. From the start. I think Bournemouth had the game, and we are just struggling. Trying to string passes. So generally, it's been a poor season. I can't even expect better right now. Being an honest fan, it just says a lot where Man United are right now, and it's really, really bad. So it was a bad game actually. We just, we were lucky to get away with it actually.
Okay, but let me ask, why is it that Manchester United struggle to control games? Because that first half, Man United they couldn't control the game. Why do they struggle to control matches?
I think it has to do with the midfield. And okay, let me not even go. Let me not start with the backline, like that's playing out from the back for now. Let me go with the midfield. We have Casemiro, we have Fernandez. They're not good ball progressors. So if you check the game, like okay, let me take today's game. That's what we're talking about. So if you check the game, for example, you see scenarios where Casemiro gets the ball or Fernandez gets the ball, and they're quickly trying to play out the pass. But when the ball gets to Kobe, he tries to move a bit, like progress the ball and all. So and now our attackers are not in form. So it's hard for us to hold the game. It's hard for us to those runs behind the back line. So when Fernandez releases those passes, sometimes it doesn't get to them, and the Bournemouth attack, gets back to Man United. So that's how. If you check, Casemiro lost a lot of balls in the midfield. So they practically had the midfield today. So I think it's one of the things we're struggling with controlling games in this season entirely. We've lost our backline. We've had to shuffle and all. Martinez has to be key in building from the back. So we've lost Martinez for a large number of the season. And it's really bad because we're not able to control games anymore. Bournemouth just kept attacking and attacking. And the midfield, if you watch the game properly, you see that the midfield was porous. It was really, really porous. And Bournemouth enjoyed themselves in the midfield. That's so sad, actually.
I think was I the only one that noticed that there was too much water on the pitch? Did the water affect
Uh,
Manchester United?
but you can't blame the water because no, the both teams are actually playing on the same pitch, so you can't actually
Because
blame.
no,
And
because
come on, it's Manchester United. We're used to Manchester.
because if you look at it
Manchester
now,
weather.
the first goal, Kwambwala slipped. Won't you blame the water for that?
Yes. No, I won't actually blame the water. I'll blame his stance. If you see the way when the ball came to him, at first he had the better side of the ball, but his turns. You as a defender, you don't back the attacker when you're trying to turn. So the way he turned, he was trying to pick, where the attacker and where the ball was coming from, and also in a split second he slipped. And Solanke has been on form, his ball work, his game in general. So Solanke just capitalized on this, and before he could realize, he was already struggling, and that was it. So you can't just blame the pitch entirely. The both teams actually playing on the same pitch. Before the game started, you as a professional footballer, you must have checked the pitch, read the pitch, know how you play your game properly, not letting the pitch affect you. They've played on that rain. It's Manchester. We normally play under Manchester weather when we're at home. So the pitch is always wet. We can't actually blame that. you know, it was just a sad one for Kambwala. Kudos to Kambwala. He kept his head down. He came back into the game. For a young lad like that, it's always bad and sad when you make errors that lead to goals. But kudos to him. He kept his head down. All he needs to do is learn from this. I hope the players rally around him, and I hope the Manchester United fans don't go about insulting him and oh, good enough. Okay, we picked a draw. So it won't be as bad as it looks. So well, kudos to him. He tried. He kept his head down and he still made some good tackles and some important,
But
interceptions and all.
this draw can end up affecting Manchester United, and they might end up not making even the Europa League. This was a team that were thinking we were going to make the Champions League, but the way it's looking, they might end up in the Conference League.
Truthfully, honestly, I think it's the Conference League because right now, our last
Imagine
game,
Manchester United in the Conference League. What? All the mighty are
but
falling.
that's is reality. Is reality. There's nothing we can do about it. It's the situation of the club right now. And I watched after the last game. I watched Scholes talking about mentality. He mentioned stuff relating to our players having strong mentality. So if you check this season, we've lost a lot of points from winning positions. We can blame the coach for tactical reasons, maybe for substitutions also and all. But the players on the pitch, you as footballers, you as professionals, you as experienced players, you should be able to manage games when it gets to certain situations. So the season overall, it's if we're lucky enough to pick a trophy, FA Cup, if we're lucky enough, are we going to call it a good season? Maybe. But looking at the league position,
Maybe by
it's
finishing
really
the
a bad season.
Conference League position, you want to say it's a good season?
That's why I said maybe. But if you look at the league position, it's actually a sad situation. That's a bad season for us. This is as low as we can get as Manchester United.
So let's talk about the second goal, the equalizer, that penalty. Was that a penalty?
That's for Manchester United.
Yes, the penalty.
Yes, that's a penalty.
For you?
Yes, that's a penalty.
Come on.
I'm not trying to be sentimental here because you've seen soft penalties given this season. So if we're going to be on the receiving side for number of games, come on. The refs have to be consistent with it. They should keep on giving soft penalties. I mean, football that we all know, that's a soft penalty. That's not really a penalty. But right now, there are a lot of calls going left, right, center. We have to benefit from it somehow because we've been on the receiving end for a number of games. So somehow we have to benefit from it. So if you ask me, yes, that's a penalty. I will take it any day, anytime.
Okay, so going forward now, what do you expect from Manchester United? What do you think is going to happen to Erik ten Hag? Do you see Erik ten Hag coaching Manchester United next season?
Yes, I see him retaining his job. There are rumors that he has discussed with Inoiz and all. He's going to retain his job, but particularly speaking, I feel and I strongly believe he's keeping his job next season. Our recruitment, we're already making important moves.
Football is a result-driven game, and the results are poor. So, do you still expect them to keep him with these poor results?
The results are poor. If we're looking at the results only, we'll be talking about sacking him. Fine, but when you look at the situation he has faced this season with injuries, you can cut him some slack because he still fought. Statistically, actually, he's doing well. When football is statistics now, he's doing well. But we all know that it's a bad season. But you have to cut him some slack because he has had to shuffle defense, midfield, try to play with your attacker, trying to, mix the team up to bring out something like to get a result. But overall, it has not worked. It has not worked out. It has been a bad season. But we still have to call out these players. When I mean calling out these players, I'm not entirely backing the coach saying, okay, the coach is right, totally right on all that. But this same set of players, or I would say this same set of players, a certain number of them have been there and they've seen out how many coaches? I feel like 3-4 coaches now. Certain group of players in that team, they've seen out about 4 coaches now. They can't see out another coach and remain in that team. That's my own point of view. You can't just allow the same set of players, have a good run of games, boom, bad form, bad results. Before they're sacking the manager, they're bringing a new manager bounce. We win a few games, maybe good season or maybe good half of the season. Then boom, we're back to the same place. So we have to go back to the drawing board. These moves that we're making now, involving our board members and all people that are going to be making critical decisions, that's a good one. So next season, I'm sure they are seeing what's happening. We can't know what's happening internally. So they are in charge. They want to know what's happening internally. I'm sure they are seeing it. They have to make important recruitments. Now, it's not about just recruiting stars. We've seen stars come to Man United and we've seen stars fail. We've seen stars come, drop performances, poor performances. So it has to be right recruitment, boiling down to mentality, gameplay, suiting the coach's style of play and all. So we have to define it. And that's what I expect from the board next season. If we say we're sticking with Ten Hag, we're sticking with Ten Hag. And if we say we're sticking with Ten Hag, we have to give him the players that will play his style of game. Not like having one player here that are trying to do this or that. No, we have to give the coach what he needs, a complete 11. It's not going to be easy recruiting, just pushing the team around, just recruiting a lot of players this season. But the process, we have to recruit important positions, center backs, full backs. This season we've played, if not almost more than half of the season, with no left back. We're having to shuffle left backs, push this player there, push this player there. So if you look at that position, that's a critical position we need to fix. Then we come to the holding midfield. Casemiro is worn out. It's obvious that Casemiro is worn out. Nobody's taking away quality, nobody's taking away experience from him, but he's worn out. The pace of the game is lacking behind right now. So that's an important position. Another important position. It goes now, we move ahead to the. We have wingers. I don't know what's going to happen to Mason Greenwood. That's something the board will decide. But we have young wingers that are building, they are growing in confidence and all. So we have to focus on the attack. That's the point man. Now, Højlund, are we going to rely on Højlund for something or for something plus games next? Or are we going to bring in an experienced striker that is going to help him develop? Those are decisions they have to make now, because as it stands, the season is over. Or maybe we are going to fight for it, maybe FA Cup. If the final, we don't know who we are going to meet in the final. That's when if we're able to see Coventry, we're going to see past Coventry and all. But talking about the league, we have to prepare. They have to start making those decisions. They have to start preparing themselves. Okay, this is what we want. This is what we want. This is how we are going to go about it and all. If we're sacking this coach, do it early enough so that you can bring in a coach that's going to bring the style of play. But for me, I don't think sacking the coach is the important decision right now. See this coach, give him his left 1 year. I think it's 3 years that he was given. That's 1 year in his contract.
1 more year left. Yeah, 1 more year left.
Let him see out that 1 more year. So let him see out that 1 year. Add the players he needs, those important positions. See how the game improves. Because obviously you can't just tell me this same team that played last season was not a good season entirely, but we won something and we went to the Champions League. We qualified for the Champions League. You can't tell me that same team that played that way, all of a sudden this season, they're in shambles. The gameplay is just here. Some games we see flashes of good interchanging and all. Before they've lost control. So you can't tell me something has to be wrong somewhere. And we can't just blame only the coach. We have to bring the players involved. We have to also bring the board. So they are seeing these things. They know where the error is. They know where the fault is. They should fix it. We the fans are expecting beautiful football, and hopefully next season we see something beautiful to watch. Come on, I miss it. I'm a Man United fan.
All right, bro. Thank you very much for joining me. See you next time.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure.